Hi, this is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we are doing some chicken on my Masterbuilt Gravity Feed 1050. Now this thing is awesome. It is gravity fed charcoal, and you fill it up, you light it, and get it going, and as soon as it's done preheating and smoking, then you go ahead and start cooking. Just to recap my system, when I do my gravity feed, I put a couple of matchlight charcoal briquettes in the very bottom, and then I fill in a couple of layers of regular charcoal, I light it, and then I start layering in a couple of chunks of wood and charcoal. The charcoal that I normally use is a Kingsford flavored. Today I'm using mesquite, and I like to use, depending on the type of wood or type of meat, I like to either use a mesquite or else I like to use a cherry or apple, depending on what I'm cooking. So like if I'm doing a pork or something like that, I want to use some fruity wood, and if I'm doing a beef, I like to use mesquite. And also pork ribs, I like to use mesquite too. Then, for a little extra added flavor, I like to add chunks of wood. And this here is just a chunk of apple hardwood. This is boneless chicken thighs, and I've seasoned them with garlic pepper and smoked paprika. Smoked paprika is by far my favorite barbecue spice. I pretty much put it on just about everything I do. Smoker looks like it's ready, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn down the temperature down to 275. I think I'm going to go down to 265 because I want it to cook a little bit slower. Let's open that up, and you can get a really good look in here. You can see how big this thing is. That is 1,050 square inches cooking space. You've got your cast iron grill grates on the bottom and your two sets of adjustable grates, which are actually in three pieces. One solid piece on the top, an identical piece towards the front middle, and then in the back you have a smaller piece. And they kind of all interlock together, so you kind of have to use it all if you're going to use it. I will, if I do a larger thing like a whole chicken or a turkey, I just take out the top one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the largest piece here. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and feed in the probe through the probe hole. There's a hole here and then a little flip that you have to open. And it looks like it's a little warm. I guess when I say that I preheated the grill, I guess that means that every part of it's hot. So I get that open, and then I can get that through. And now I can work with that. I keep an extra set of garbage tongs around that I use mostly for the charcoal and wood and stuff to adjust it. And when I'm putting in that bottom row of charcoal, I use the tongs to set it right down in there, which when the smoker is cool, it's really easy to do. The longer your tongs are, the easier it is to do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the largest piece, and we're just going to stab this through there. I'm going to put it kind of at an angle, but I want it in the largest spot of the whole thing. And I'm just going to go ahead and set that right there. And then I'm going to pull in the extra line because I don't really want all the extra line in the barbecue or grill smoker. And then something else to notice is that I always put the heavier spiced side down as long as it's patted in. If it's like barbecue sauce or something like that, I normally would start that on the top, flip it over, and then barbecue the bottom, sauce the bottom after I flip it. So you get it to stick. Now, something that you want to do is you want to make sure that you work some of that spices all the way around where the bone was. So now we're pretty much all set up here, and the smoker's running and everything. It's mostly residual heat right now because I preheated it above the cooking temperature. But we're just going to go ahead and close that down. and then we're gonna let it smoke. I have one more thing that I'm gonna do that I'm gonna add to this. So with tonight's dinner, that will be dinner tonight. And also, I'm gonna make a container package mix of macaroni and cheese. Now, you can make macaroni and cheese however you like. I personally think that the most successful recipe you will have is something that comes out of a crock pot recipe. If you have a recipe for crock pot macaroni and cheese, mix it up, put it in a tin container, a tin foil container, and just put it on the rack. It will cook great. You probably want to do about the same amount of cook time for your crock pot as you would for the smoker, but you can adjust the smokers a little bit higher and get a little bit hotter temperature out of them than you can on a lot of crock pots, and they'll cook a little bit faster. For today's cook, I'm just using a package. It's just the two of us, and the shells and cheese are our favorite, especially white cheddar. And then when it gets halfway done, then I will sprinkle some Mexican cheese mix on the top, and that has a little bit of all of our favorite cheeses, including the Jack and the mozzarella and the cheddar. And then it'll finish all at about the same time. So I'll go ahead and prepare that off camera and get that on there, and I'm gonna wait about 30 minutes before I pop that on there and get that chicken rolling along pretty good, and then we'll go from there. So we're gonna take a break, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back now. So we're gonna go ahead and put that tray in here. So let's go ahead and open her up and take a look. And oh, that chicken is looking so good. So went ahead and mixed up the macaroni and cheese. Got it all ready to go, and I put a little bit of paprika on there because I can't resist. We're gonna put it right down here. This is possibly the warmest spot on the grill. It's just on the lower left here. And while it is good at mixing, it still does seem to get just a little warmer on this side. And I'm not sure if that's just how I've been loading it, but I haven't been loading it very heavy. So we'll see one of these days when I fill the whole thing up, whether that's the case, because when I do that, I'll also do the biscuit test, which is basically you load your grill up with your stuff, and then in the gaps, you go ahead and place a package of quick biscuits in there, so that way you can get an idea of what the heat is like in the whole smoker. Then if you burn a biscuit, you'll know that it's hot there, and if another one's not done on the other corner, you'll know that it's just not circulating well. And then you just either avoid those two spots or find another solution for spreading the air around a little bit more. We do a lot of stuff with our reverse offset smokers and with offset smokers in general by just adding a cookie sheet with some drill holes in it. You would be amazed at how well that basically diffuses the heat and spreads it around evenly. I don't think it's going to be necessary here because the heat spreader is just really awesome in here. But I'm going to go ahead and close this back down, and we'll get that macaroni and cheese going. All right, so we're moving right along. The chicken is just about up to full temperature. They are thighs, so they can cook up to about 165 degrees and still be perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, my target temperature is usually in between 158 and 160, and then I just rest them and they usually finish cooking. The smaller pieces will not continue to rise quite as much as a larger piece like a roast or a chicken. So I'm gonna do two things here. I brought out the cheese that I said that I was gonna put on the macaroni. So first I'm gonna put that on, and then I'm gonna pull that chicken off and increase the temperature on the smoker to finish off the macaroni and cheese. So first I'll do that. So I'm going to just grab this and give it a spin. It still needs a little bit of cooking going on there. It is not done. Though, man, it looks good. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. that back there a little bit. Brought a piece of foil for the chicken. Always start with the smallest piece. They are definitely juicy, and the juice is running completely clear. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and change the temperature. Take it up to 395. I feel real comfortable with that temperature. That'll get a little, first of all, it'll finish cooking the macaroni, and second of all, it'll get a little crisp on that cheese. So, we'll take a break, and then we'll be back when the macaroni and cheese is done. First, I'm going to show you this right before I wrap it. Boy, that looks really nice. All right, so here we are to the end. So, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. I have to admit that I did sneak a peek a few minutes ago, and it was just about there. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks pretty awesome. So I'm just going to slide it out onto the plate. I'm that idiot who doesn't use a pot holder. And I'm going to show it to you. So take a look at that. I don't know how good that's going to come through, but I'll slide back just a little bit so you can get a look at that. I don't know about you, but that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and close up the smoker, and then I'm going to turn it on high so that way it'll burn everything off. So there's a little bit of charcoal left in here, and I'm gonna really quick, just so I can get an idea of how much there is, I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. When you do open it up, you wanna wait a second and be careful. So you open it up, there's a safety switch right there. You can see a little bit of embers are coming out, and there's a little bit of fire coming out. So you don't wanna put your head directly over it, you kind of look to the side. And there is still a pretty fair amount of charcoal in there. So, I definitely think it's probably going to run for probably, I don't know, another hour or so at least. So I'm just going to seal it up, let it come up to full temperature just like I would with a propane grill, and let it burn off. So I've tried a few different things off of this so far, and I just really love the charcoal smoked flavor. The combination between having the infused wood charcoal and putting chunks of wood in there just seems to be an excellent taste, and it's not buried with smoke. So also I think that my wife, who's not a big fan of smoke, will probably really like the flavors that come out of this machine, and it is so convenient. Again, I'm not using the Wi-Fi, but there's no reason for you not to try it. So the links to the product are down below. They are affiliate links, so if you do buy something from my link, I will get a commission. Also, there's a link to the article for this smoker and to the website itself. You'll find a lot of useful things on my website, like how-tos for different cooking things, and how different types of smokers work. You'll find product roundups and product reviews. I am the Electric Smoker King, so you'll find a lot of information about electric smokers, and don't miss the how to smoke salmon in your electric smoker, because that is an awesome article with my, what I call my honey glazed ham recipe. So anyway, thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.